Good morning and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron here on the second Friday of 2020. It's a joy to be here to speak to you, to share with you messages that I receive, and to embrace each other as a collective whole here on planet Earth, as many of you from Humanity Healing are from all over the world. This is a unity that needs to be recentered in each of us, to know that no matter where we are around the world, we are one. We are unity. We are whole. And we are now being embraced with coming together on levels that have not been performed by humans for thousands and thousands of years. So it's nice to be here. See Lisa, Jane, Kelly, people arriving. Thank you. I love you all. I bless you all. I know that this time right now we're going through for many is very critical and for some it feels almost abusive. And I want to start with that because I want you to remember that the energies that we're being presented with are part of the undoing of thousands of years of disrespect and negligence. And I say that for the collective, not for the individual. So as we move and the energies change and the grid lines open and we reconnect to the divine source of creation on levels that we're not really, many of us, able to understand, but we know that we're willing to experience this and are willing to be forerunners and front people, for missionaries, if you will, for many of you who may not understand. This is our purpose, is to try to make you feel a little more comfortable with what's going on within you, around you, to your families, to your children, to your parents. This is an amazing process, and it's not a fantasy at any level, no matter who may try to make you believe that this is just a dream or a fantasy. So this morning, the words "so much magnificence" came in my head. And that beautiful song by Mitten and Diva Premal, which is just a repetition of that. But it brought in the ocean and the water. And as I've just done a talk for Loving Waters, and waters have been on my mind for the 7 days of rest program that I was involved with, what better way to start my second talk by inviting us into the deeper waters within ourselves, and to remind us that we are oceans. So as I begin, I'm welcoming you, and Dave, Janice, thank you. So right now, this is an amazing process that each of us are experiencing. And as I said, that "So Much Magnificence" song arose in my head as I woke up, then went back to bed and got up, and here I am. And the simple phrase in that is, there is so much magnificence. Near the ocean, waves are coming in. Waves are coming in. Waves are coming in. And that's what it feels like. There is so much magnificence. And so I urge you to find water wherever you are. It doesn't have to be the ocean. But deepen your relationship with water for the simple reason that we are water, that planet Earth is water. And that through that simple connection of letting everything else go, we can come to a place of flow, of resonance, of deeper relationship, not only with the world around us, but the world within us as water beings. That was not in my show notes. I love you. Thank you. I just bless you all. So I pulled a Kuan Yin Oracle card this morning. And as you know, I love this deck. And it was made in Magu. This is the deck here, Kuan Yin Oracle deck. Goddess of Spring. Now, here in New England, USA, it's winter, so we do anticipate spring. For those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, you'll be heading into winter. But spring is the sort of eternal presence of renewal. And this is why I love spring. It's a renewal. And so for those of you around the world, this goddess of spring is really representing healing and transformation. And as you can see, all of the disaster that's happening around the world. We love you, Australia. We love you, those who are being flooded. We love you, all who are experiencing dramatic natural disasters, and want to encourage you that spring is coming, this season of healing and transformation. And right now, it may not look like that is happening, but in the divine essence of creation, this is a part of healing and transformation. So the goddess of spring brings you assistance. And I ask that she bless you all with abundance, which is another word that I will speak on today, because that's part of the magnificence, is the abundance that we have at our fingertips and within our hearts to tap into and to help us express what's needed for this spring to occur around the world, regardless of our seasons that we honor. So the card reads, you are asked to honor that light, and that can come from even the darkest beginnings, beloved one. In fact, sometimes we need to enter into the unknown parts of ourselves to find exactly what we need to grow in peace, creative self-fulfillment, and happiness. The challenge can be to trust that we will arise from this darker place again. Just as the spring always follows the winter, beloved, so too will any inner work with the shadow precede a beautiful rebirth for you. This is what it's about. It's about rebirth. It's about birthing and bringing forth the light in you to shine outwardly on the world and each other, so that we can bathe in your light and my light. And in that precious moment, we render darkness useless. It has no power. And I'm going to talk about that because the darkness is losing what we would call its power. It can't succeed. It was never intended to overcome the light. And so this is part of what we're going through is in order to be diminished, we have to let go of it from our minds because our minds are holding that darkness in place, not consciously, but we've just been entrained over so many thousands of years to see the darkness, see the darkness, see the darkness. And we've been starved of the teachings of you are the light, you are the light. Yes, we have great teachings, we have religions, we have philosophies who express that, but not enough. They don't express it enough because in order for them to have power, they have to use our light to be the powerful entities that they are. And I will say there's nothing wrong in that, except right now, at this point, we are being asked to call our light back. And that's not going to be easy for a lot of us. So the word self-fulfillment in Kuan Yin's message reminded me of how powerfully wonderful and powerful each of us really are, especially when we align within our hearts, align within our hearts, not with our hearts, but align within, to go in and align within as our divine sovereign self. Do you feel like a divine sovereign self today? Probably not. Because the world around us is expressing so much chaos that overbearing energy renders us to believe we're powerless. And today's talk on this second week of 2020 is to encourage you to seek the power within you, your divine sovereign self, and remove all ideas of separation. And as I wrote in my notes, and allow them to become the sand that gets swept away by the waves of love, which can never be ceased. So much magnificence. You are so much magnificence. That's why I love being here. That's why I love doing this, because I know that each one of us are hungering for these messages in our heart, because we've heard so much negativity. My other deck I love is the, pull it away, the abundance. This is an abundance card from the Galactic Sacred Space Meditation cards by Eleanor von Linden. This is called the Many M Galaxy. And the card is abundance. So much magnificence. And then we have abundance. Isn't that really what abundance is? Magnificence. Isn't this how we weave it all together so that each one of us, when we think of abundance, it's not about how much stuff we have. It's not about, I've got a better car than you. I have this, you have that. It isn't about stuff. The abundance is really, what do we hold within us? What do we have to share with each other? So the words on that, my world is like the ocean. Here again, the reference to the ocean, to water, full of abundance. Think about the ocean. I've got a picture of my screen page is the ocean. All of life rises out of the ocean. Look how much it covers, how much water covers, the ocean covers this planet. Think of the percentage of water that this planet is. This planet is a water planet. You're a water being. This is our relationship of abundance, that out of that water, the abundance is fully acting. Next line is, I am in tune with its rhythm. So here we go. We have the high tide, low tide. I flow with its ebb and tide. Flow. Beautiful word for us for 2020. We need to flow. We need to flow positively, not flow down the drain and be washed into the sewage treatment center. We need to flow in the light and bring forth what we have to each other. So as we think of all of those words, I want you to remember that we are powerful creators which have been lost in a world of selfish indulgence. Doesn't matter whether it's a lot or a little. Just honor that we have been selfishly indulgent, and it's now time to be flowing abundance, giving, expanding, extending, not coming in. What do we have? Let's give it. Let's send it out. So if we have the low tide, let's be the incoming tide that's bringing in the abundance of the ocean to the shoreline. All powerful metaphors. Because we are a force of cosmic energy. This is what I want you to realize. We are a force of cosmic energy. And not only do we have the ability to transform the complete surface of planet Earth, but we can transmute it back into its original beauty and completeness. And as we think of that wonderful story, the Garden of Eden, that's what it's representing. Abundance, total abundance, no lack, everything there. Everything provided for our sustenance. And all we have to do is say yes. Say yes to this cosmic power that you truly are. I'm going to look at the sidelines here before I go on here. So I see a lot of writing. Good morning. People looking for help. Moon dreams. Is there any reason for this? There's no more reason for why you remember moon dreams at any one point or another, other than you are ready to, and that the dreams have an important message for you. And they are from your higher self and your counsel. And so when you do remember your dreams, don't take them as direct, but deepen into them and look and say, how does this play into the whole picture of my life? Not just what the subject matter was of the dream. Because many of us have bizarre dreams that make no sense at all. Yet if we sit back and watch it and say, oh, well, there's always a message. And it's you are giving that message to yourself from a higher dimension of yourself, which is connected to whatever family of self you have at that multi-dimensional level. So honor them, honor your dreams. And if they're fearful, what they're doing is they're representing the fear that you're holding right now. And if anything, they're a message to let go of your fears, work through your fears. Find somebody to help you with that. So the body is over 60% water. Water actually on a molecular level is 99% water. Okay, it's just how you measure it. And the moon, yes, here we are in the full moon. What does the full moon affect is the waters. Yeah. Waves are high, energy's high, everything's high right now. All of this, what you're saying is beautiful, Lorraine. And it's key for all of us to remember and tap into the fact that all of this is happening because we are these cosmic beings. We're able to understand this. We're able to have knowledge or wisdom about this on levels of consciousness, a third dimensional consciousness, but albeit a consciousness. Right now, what we're being called to do is tap into the higher consciousness of ourselves, to move up into the multidimensional beings that we are, to trust that, to trust it from our heart. Those messages and those dreams come through the heart, not the head. We're leaving this AI, this artificial intelligence that we've enamored ourselves over and praised ourselves for, and given ourselves certificates of, graduation and your PhDs and whatever. Doesn't mean anything if you can't love. Doesn't mean anything if you can't share your light. Doesn't mean anything. You can't eat it. You can't build a house with it. We have to come home into our hearts. This is 2020 and the next decade. This decade is going to change. It's an evolutionary process. I'm not the only one who's saying this. People say it in different ways than I do, and I love them. And each one of us are just following our guidance as way showers to come forth and express this to others. People don't believe in the cosmic energy, and they won't believe in the cosmic energy shift. And I'm not here to convince them of the cosmic energy shift. I'm here to speak to you who are listening to me right now. You've tuned in. You're alert. You're awake. You're aware. I'm not telling you to do anything just because I say it. I'm encouraging you to investigate those waters that you are, to dive deeper into the waters of who you are, because I want to hear you. I want to hear you talk. I want to hear you tell me the beauty, the love that you are. And I want to see it in action. I want to see people just loving each other and being kind to each other in spite of all of the chaos, in spite of all the damage that we're experiencing. Don't allow that to diminish your light. If there's any message I can give you today, is do not allow what you see and what you experience on this third dimensional emotional level to keep you from sharing the light and love that you are. I want you to feel into your powerful self. Feel into your powerful self. Feel into that powerful self and ask yourself to remember who you truly are beyond space and time. Yes, we're flesh and bone right here. We're flesh and bone, and we have a brain that allows us to communicate and receive information. But who are you beyond space and time? Space and time is just a construct. It's an illusion we've created. They're words that have to describe something. That doesn't exist. May sound crazy, and many of you would argue with me with it, and I'm perfectly wonderful, and I thank you. But you will reach a point where you realize that space and time has a purpose. As a container. But we're beyond now being contained. The time of containment has expired. Thank you. Expired. That's what I'm getting. The time of containment has expired. Deepen your vision. Deepen your vision to reach who you truly are within yourself. Feel the depth of your soul. Embrace the self, which has no regrets. It exists within you. And it will come through at times. No regrets. Can you give up all your regrets? Can you give up? What can you give up? Practice giving up. Giving up, the nasty word we don't like, surrender. Surrender. Allow it to not bother you. To pull away from it and look at it from a distance. Whatever you need to do, right now, everything is coming up for us to observe, to recalibrate and redecide whether this is something I'm taking with me into the future. Nobody else is doing this to us now. In spite of what we see in the world, it has no power over us. The only power it has is to convince us that we're still trapped in it. We're still victims. And it will victimize us because that's how it works. So, embrace the self which has no regrets because it's pure and powerful and beyond human recognition. And feel the abundance and the magnificence of what and who you truly are. And it's there. It's there, hidden down underneath all of this heavy, dark, karmic residue. Each one of us are here to help each other remove that karmic residue. We are all being guided now by the Divine Mother, who in ceremonies around the world this weekend, there are reconnections and ceremonies for things that were long ago stopped and not completed. There are many people right now who are working on the mother energy through the energetic grid lines of the planet. There are many people around the world who are bringing in and raising the divine feminine energy back into place so that each of us can experience once again what it feels to be whole and complete and not torn apart, not questioning this polarity that has created so much pain and suffering. It didn't need to be, but it became. I remember telling a person years ago, I asked him a question because I remembered him from a very, very long ago lifetime. And I asked him, do you remember when we chose to separate and thought it would be fun? Those were the words that came through. And to this day, I ask you, do you remember when we were one and chose to separate? And I leave you with that because it's this belief that we can be separated. It's this avenue of separation that has created and developed into what the pain and suffering we're seeing right now at all levels. It's all separation. And we are being called right now as these divine beings of light that we are to end the separation, to come back into the mother's womb, to be rebirthed. And we will. Some of us won't. And that's okay. That's your choice. You don't have to. That's your journey. And I honor your journey, whichever you choose. But I'm here to choose light and love and peace and compassion, kindness. And that's my choice. So in closing, I've written a few things here. We are all being guided now by the Divine Mother, and it does not matter how we see or feel her divine grace. We are now very rapidly revealing all that has been kept secret in order to have diminished and been enslaved in a life experience that was separation, rather than the unified field of light presence that we truly are. Order and light cannot be destroyed, but it can be hidden. It can be hidden away behind thick walls and in containers, thick walls of darkness, which have been building and building and building for so many lifetimes, not only around us, but within us. And now we're being given the opportunity that it is ultimately weak. It's reached its ultimate weakness. It has reached its ultimate weakness. And we, as these powerful beings of light, are no match for it anymore. It's powerless. It no longer has the power that it appears to have. So as each of us let it move into the light, and our exposure to our own light creates less density in us, we also lessen the density of the third dimension. And in doing that as a collective whole, we proceed to co-create the opportunity for even those who are so dark to see the light. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. Together, we are unity, whether we recognize it or not. So let your self be guided into the highest chambers of your heart and be steadfast, even as the shadows scream, even as the dreams are horrible. Have no fear. You are the ocean, and you are filled and surrounded by magnificence. No limits. No limits to anything that aligns you to your true self. This is the gift we're being given, and we're co-creating in harmony and balance right now. Each one of us, with every kind thought, with every tear of compassion that flows. We are adding those tears to that ocean of love that Mitten sings about. May each of you feel this and know that we are truly guardians of all creation here on this drop of water we call home. Carry that with you. I love you and thank you. You're so precious, and I'm so glad to walk side by side with you, no matter what you're going through. Bless you all. Have a good week. Ceremonies this weekend, full moon, eclipse. I'll be up on Mount Agamenticus off and on all weekend, laying crystals, doing ceremony, aligning with the umbilical cord of Earth connecting to the sun. It's truly a powerful time. Be the magnificence that you truly are. I'm complete. It's 7 minutes over. I apologize. Bless you. Bye-bye.